50 Cent's Netflix documentary on Diddy just dropped, and people immediately noticed something was off. Huge chunks of the story were missing, especially when it came to Diddy's mom, Janice Kamez. And what got cut from the final version, it's way darker than anyone expected. The deleted scenes and clips that resurfaced online reveal that Janice wasn't just standing by her son. She might have been the one who created the monster in the first place. Look, most people after watching this documentary said, "We already knew this stuff. There's nothing new here." And they were right. The doc showed surface-level information, but it left out the most important parts. There was barely any mention of Jay-Z or Beyonce, even though their names keep coming up in connection to Diddy. But here's what really stood out. Janice Kamez, Diddy's mother, got maybe 5 minutes of screen time. 5 minutes. This is the woman who literally raised him, who was there from day one. People started asking questions. Why was her part so small? What information got left on the cutting room floor? And that's what we're going to talk about today. Because the stuff that didn't make it into the documentary tells the real story. We're going to dive into the deleted scenes, the resurfaced clips, and the bombshell testimony that Netflix didn't want you to see. Trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to understand why so many people believe Janice Kamez knew everything that was happening. And I mean everything. Before we get into the heavy stuff, let me give you some background so you understand why this matters. The documentary did show a few things about Janice, but not nearly enough. First, there was her statement, and honestly, it was wild. You heard about how Diddy mom came out defending him. She made a comment saying that Diddy is not a monster. Yeah, he not a monster, she is. But I don't want to go there, but she is. She's the monster. Everything in her name, she's the monster. She created that. And y'all going to see on that Netflix. Y'all just check it out. When Diddy got arrested and all these allegations came out, his mom released this long statement. But here's the thing. She wasn't defending Diddy. She was defending herself. The whole statement was basically Janice saying, "Hey, I'm not an abusive parent like the documentary makes me look." She talked about being a hardworking single mother who loved her kids, but she barely addressed whether Diddy actually did the things he's accused of. Her main focus was clearing her own name. Now, one specific thing she denied was super interesting. Back in 1991, there was this tragic event at City College in New York. Diddy was promoting a celebrity basketball game and the venue got way too crowded. 9 people died in a stampede. It was horrible. And right after this happened, Kirk Burroughs, who was the co-founder of Bad Boy Records, said he witnessed something shocking. He claimed that Diddy slapped his own mother during this time because she questioned his decisions. Janice specifically denied this in her statement. She said it never happened. But as you'll see, a lot of people who were around Diddy back then have a very different story. Let me also give you some quick background on Janice herself. Diddy's father, Melvin Kamez, was murdered when Diddy was only 2 years old. So Janice raised him as a single mom. She's always said she worked 3 jobs to support the family. One job was as a teacher's assistant. Another was supposedly modeling, though there aren't really any photos to prove that. And the third job, well, that's where things get really dark. We'll get into that in a minute. The point is, Diddy grew up in a specific environment. And according to multiple people who knew the family, that environment shaped everything he became. All right, let's get into what the documentary didn't show you. So the documentary showed Janice defending Diddy, right? But there's someone who's not buying it at all. His name is Freddie P, and he used to be signed to Diddy's label. When Janice's statement came out, Freddie P made his own video responding to it, and he didn't hold back. The reason a man like he is, you had any issues with her. I don't like her. I ain't ever had no issues with I just don't like her. I don't like her. Why you don't like her? You personally, why you? 'Cause she got my mothering money. That's why. That's why Freddie P basically said that while Janice is calling Diddy not a monster, she's actually the real monster who created him. He said she was right there when all the alleged abuse was happening. She saw everything and did nothing to stop it. In Freddie's words, her trying to defend Diddy now is meaningless because her own character is too messed up. It's like if a criminal tried to defend another criminal, nobody's going to take that seriously. This hit different because Freddie isn't just some random person talking. He worked closely with Diddy for years. He saw how the family operated behind closed doors, and his message was clear. If you want to understand where Diddy's behavior comes from, look at his mother. Now, let's talk about Gan Deal. If you've been following this case, you know Gene was Diddy's bodyguard back in the day. He's been speaking out about Diddy's behavior for years, way before Cassie's lawsuit even came out. And Gene has dropped some serious bombs about Janice Kamez that never made it into the documentary. His mother had a modeling agency, and it was alleged that it was also Ladies of the Night, a prostitution ring too, or that these ladies was doing things other than modeling. So the apple don't fall far from the tree. Yeah. So now you got to understand this and looking at her and some of the stuff that he was saying, and their relationship has changed since I knew them. According to Gan Deal, Janice's modeling agency wasn't really a modeling agency. He said it was allegedly a prostitution ring. Let me say that again. A prostitution ring disguised as a modeling business. Gan explained that Diddy didn't learn his behavior from his father, who died when Diddy was super young. He learned it from his mother. Gene said straight up, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Meaning, if Janice was allegedly involved in this kind of activity, is it really surprising that Diddy ended up accused of trafficking? This stuff runs in the family, but it gets even weirder. This man was talking about that his mother could take her palms and bend over and put them down on the floor. Not bend over, but she could stand straight up and put her palms on the floor. Bro, he's saying that about his mother. Who describes any of their mother action like that in a sexual way? And then, I don't know how many dudes do kiss their mother in their mouth when they 50, 60 years old or something like that. Gene Deal talked about how Diddy used to describe his mother in really strange ways. Like, there's this clip where Diddy is talking about his mom and he says she can put her palms flat on the floor. He's bragging about how flexible she is. And Gene was like, who talks about their mother like that? The way Diddy described it felt sexual. It felt inappropriate. This isn't how a normal son talks about his mom. There was something off about their whole relationship. And here's another thing Gene pointed out. No, the way she dress is not age appropriate. And I know some women going to say how she's supposed to dress. She could dress whatever she want to. Now listen to me, man. Nah, I ain't gonna have my mama around my friends or nobody with some me draws on and talking about she my mama. I ain't going to be talking about my mama is bending over putting up palms on the floor. Gene said that while he can't prove Janice was at the actual freak-off parties, he believes she definitely knew about them. Why? Because Janice was always around. She went to the regular parties. She was heavily involved in Diddy's life and business. Gan also mentioned that she would wear these really revealing age-inappropriate outfits. He said he wouldn't want his own mother dressing like that around his friends. It just wasn't right. The whole vibe was off. Okay, so there are some videos floating around the internet that people have been analyzing like crazy. These clips weren't in the documentary, but they tell you everything you need to know about Janice and Diddy's relationship. First, there's the IV drip video. I love you. Love you too. Music freshly dipped though. Music I was trying to show you. Yeah, my mom's single. I ain't going to eat no my mom's single. My mom talked about one time during a dating show. If she's so picky they don't stand. But yeah, that'll be the funniest show in the world. It will be. Don't even want to get started when she was doing that. We not doing that cause yeah, my mom's single. Yeah, for real. Von D know how to have a good time. In the house playing outside moving and shaking, baby, that she come with me to strip club, I don't care. Real, it's my dog, I wanna live life. We out here moving and grooving. My mom told me, she just said, keep moving, baby. That's right, keep moving, she don't stop. She could touch the floor with her palms, Flat, take. In this video, Diddy and his mom are sitting together and they're both getting IV treatments. They're acting like it's totally normal, just hydration or whatever. But here's the thing. Court documents from Diddy's case revealed that people who attended his freak-off parties would need IV treatments afterwards because the parties were so intense. People would pass out, get completely drained. So when you see Diddy and Janice both getting IVs at the same time, you have to wonder, where did they just come from? The timing is suspicious. The context is suspicious. I'm just saying it raises a lot of questions. Then there's the kiss video. Oh man, this one made people uncomfortable. In the video, Diddy kisses his mother on the lips. And I'm not talking about a quick peck. It's prolonged. It's weird. He's also talking in the video about how his mom is single and needs a man. Dude, that's your mother. Why are you talking like that? But wait, it gets worse. If you look closely at the video, you can see that Janice is wearing white nail polish. Now, if you read Cassie's lawsuit, you know that Diddy specifically demanded that women wear white nails during freak-offs. He wanted the white to contrast against their skin. So why is his mother wearing the exact same white nail polish? I'll let you connect those dots yourself, but yeah, it's disturbing. There are also photos that have surfaced. These pictures show Janice wearing super revealing dresses, looking like she's about to go to a club, and Diddy is right there next to her. People have been asking, why is a mother dressing like this? Why does she look like one of Diddy's girlfriends instead of his mom? It's just not normal. Here's where the story gets really dark, and this is stuff the documentary completely ignored. People who knew Diddy when he was a kid have come forward with some disturbing information about what life was like in Janice's house. According to Diddy's childhood friend, Janice would throw wild parties at their home. And these weren't regular parties. Adults would be having sex openly. Kids would accidentally walk into rooms and see naked people going at it. This was just a regular Saturday night at Janice's house. Can you imagine growing up like that? Can you imagine being a young kid and constantly being exposed to adult sexual activity that messes you up? That changes you. Diddy's friend said he believes everything that's happening with Diddy now goes back to his childhood. He said, "I don't know exactly why Diddy turned out this way, but I truly believe it all goes back to what he saw as a kid." And honestly, that makes sense. If you're raised in an environment where sex is everywhere, where boundaries don't exist, where your own mother is allegedly bringing clients home with her, of course that's going to affect how you view relationships and consent as an adult. And speaking of disturbing, there's an allegation that Cassie made that's so disgusting I almost didn't want to include it. But it's important for understanding just how messed up this whole situation is. Allegedly, Cassie testified that Janice had a special recipe for macaroni and cheese. And by special, I mean she would keep a jar of Diddy's bodily fluids in the fridge and drizzle it on the mac and cheese like it was extra cheese. Then she would bake it and serve it to Diddy, to Cassie, and eat it herself. I'm sorry, but that's not normal. That's not motherly love. That's perversion. That's sick. And it shows just how deep the dysfunction in this family goes. Before Diddy even got arrested, there was someone trying to warn us. His name is Dapper Dan, and he's a legend in Harlem. When reporters asked him about Diddy, he didn't sugarcoat anything. Did y'all see when they interviewed Dapper Dan about Diddy? I haven't seen that one, please. They ran into Dapper Dan in Harlem and they asked him what he thought about what was going on with Diddy and if he knew Diddy. And I love Dapper Dan for this. He said, "I grew up with his parents." He said, and what's going on with him has been going on long before him. Now his father was a government snitch and a bad actor in the criminal world altogether. But there's whispers in the streets of Harlem that Diddy's mother isn't alive. Not his biological mother, but that woman is his aunt. Whoa, there are whispers. Wait a minute, there are whispers. Dapper Dan said, "I grew up with his parents, I knew his parents." Then he dropped this line. What's going on with him has been going on long before him. Think about that. He's saying this behavior didn't start with Diddy. It's been in the family for generations. Dapper Dan was basically telling everyone that if you really want to understand Diddy, you need to look at where he came from. You need to look at his mother. But people didn't listen. They brushed it off as just neighborhood gossip. Now look where we are. There are even whispers in Harlem. And I'm not saying this is confirmed, but there are whispers that Janice might not even be Diddy's biological mother. Some people think she might be his aunt. I don't know if that's true, but the fact that people in Harlem are saying this tells you something. It tells you that people who knew the family have serious questions about what really happened. Jaguar Wright has also spoken about this. She's been saying for years that Janice was the blueprint, that she was the original person running this kind of operation and Diddy just followed her lead. He learned everything from watching her. Remember Gan Deal, Diddy's former bodyguard? Well, he revealed something that the documentary definitely didn't want to touch. Gene said the real reason Diddy fired him had nothing to do with his job performance. It had everything to do with Janice. According to Gene, Janice started making inappropriate advances toward him. She would constantly ask him to do little tasks, testing his boundaries. She wanted to see if she could get him to submit to her. Gene said she would throw hints asking why he never called her, why he didn't pay attention to her. And Gene kept it professional. He would call her Miss Gomez and keep his distance. But one day, things came to a head. Janice asked Gan to go downstairs and get food out of her car. Gene looked around the office and was like, "There are literally 1,000 interns here who could do that." He realized she just wanted to show that she had power over him. She wanted to prove she could make him do whatever she wanted, and Gene refused. Janice got upset. She said something like, "Everybody does what I tell them to do except you. Who do you think you are?" And that's when Diddy overheard the argument. Diddy came out and said, "I'm tired of this. Why are you always messing with Jean? Leave Jean alone." But the damage was done. Shortly after that, Diddy started having other people take Jean's shifts, and eventually Jean was out. Jean said looking back, he realizes that Janice was probably into him. And when he didn't respond to her advances, she made things difficult for him. But here's the really twisted part. Diddy was jealous. He was protective of his mother in a way that wasn't normal. It was possessive, and it wasn't just Jean. Kirk Burroughs told Jean that back in 1991, he witnessed Diddy slap Janice. Jean also personally saw Diddy cuss his mother out in a limousine. Diddy told his mother to stay out of his business using really disrespectful language. Jean confronted Diddy right there. He said, "If you ever talk to your mother like that again around me, I'm going to beat you." And Diddy shut up real quick because he knew Jean was serious. So you have this toxic cycle. Diddy mistreats his mother, he disrespects her. He allegedly gets physical with her, but she still protects him. She still keeps all his secrets. Why? Because maybe she's just as guilty as he is. According to Mace, you know, the rapper who's been going at Diddy for years, Janice is the key to everything. Mace said that if you want to know about all the bad things Diddy has done, you need to ask his mother because Janice has the receipts. She has all of them. Apparently, Diddy put almost everything he owns in his mother's name. Houses, cars, businesses, it's all under Janice's name. Why? Because Diddy knew that if things ever went bad, he'd need someone to protect his assets. He needed someone who would never rat on him no matter what. And that person is his mother. Mace pointed out that all the other people who could expose Diddy are either dead or can't talk. Biggie is dead. Craig Mack is dead. Black Rob is dead. Everyone else signed non-disclosure agreements, so they're legally prevented from speaking out. But Janice knows everything, and she's been holding it down for her son all these years. That's loyalty, I guess. But it's also making her complicit in everything he's done. Here's something the documentary barely touched on, but it's super important. How did Diddy get his start in the music industry? The official story is that he worked hard and climbed his way up. But there are whispers about something else going on behind the scenes. Some people say that Clive Davis, the big music executive, had connections to Diddy's father Melvin before Melvin was murdered. Then after Melvin dies, young Diddy magically ends up under Clive Davis's mentorship. That's convenient, right? Some people believe Diddy didn't just stumble into fame. He was chosen. He was groomed. There were certain things he allegedly had to do, certain rites of passage to lock in his spot in the industry. And according to insiders, Janice was watching the whole time, maybe even managing it, maybe even orchestrating it. This wasn't just a mom supporting her son's career. This was something deeper. Here's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. Janice might not just be a witness to all this. She might actually be in legal trouble herself. There are reports that Janice has been helping Diddy hide assets, properties, bank accounts, entire businesses allegedly put in her name to keep them away from investigators and lawsuits. If that's true, that's not just being a supportive mom. That's money laundering. That's aiding and abetting. If the feds start looking into Janice's finances, she could be charged as an accomplice. And honestly, a lot of people think she should be because all the evidence suggests she wasn't just standing by while Diddy did terrible things. She was part of it. She knew about it. She maybe even taught him how to do it. So, let me ask you, is Janice just a loyal mother doing what any mother would do? Or is she the puppet master who's been pulling the strings this whole time? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know what you think about all this. And make sure you're subscribed because this case keeps getting darker every single week. New information drops constantly and you don't want to miss it. I'll see you in the next one.